boil the wort, only oxygen comes out of it. So we have this through a filter, through a stone. Pure O2 is desirable if you're fermenting a wort that is, say, 1060 or higher. If it's under 1060, just shaking that thing. About 1 minute of shaking per gallon of wort. Here we go. So we're just going to let it go for, oh, maybe 30 seconds, 40 seconds. And that'll get us a nice, it's measured in parts per million, and we're looking for about 12 to 15 parts per million, which is about 30 seconds or so. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of good oxygen in there. I got the oxygen tank at Menards. It's actually used for welding, and I got the fitting at, I think it was, I want to say morebeer.com, but it might have been Northern Brewer. I can't remember which one. But and the stone I got the same place. So I think we're good now. Let's make sure we got enough. Alright. That's it for the oxygen. Sure beats shaking. Whoa! There goes my foil. Alright, I'll get it back.
Curse it. Foil again.
Just put a little sanitizer, because we're going to keep the foil on it a little bit longer. By the way, that sanitizer in there, you see the foam from the sanitizer? That's okay. That's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to ruin the flavor of the beer or anything like that. Or be harmful to you or whoever drinks it. Alright, here's our yeast from upstairs. You guys ready? Yeah, we're ready. Are you sure? Yeah, we're sure. I don't want you to go if you're not ready. We'll just put it in a bit quite a lot. Okay. I haven't even been drinking yet. That's the scariest part of the whole thing. Okay, yeast. Do your stuff. Yay! Woohoo! Oh, come on. Get in there. Should be plenty, but I always like to get as much as I can. If you really plan ahead, you can hold back some of that wort into a jar and then use it to rinse that out. But we didn't do that. We didn't plan that far ahead. Plan ahead? Plan a what? Alright, we're going to get a airlock on there. It's technically, now it's beer. We've got all 4 ingredients. We've got our water, got our hops, got our malt, we got our yeast. The 4 biggies, they're in there. It's going to ferment. It's going to be yummy. I can hardly wait. Although this beer does age well, so we may wait. We may have to wait. Alright, so let's get an airlock. Alright, so this is an airlock. And all it is, it's like a cup with a tube. There's openings, holes in the bottom, and that's just to go straight through. And the gases coming out of fermentation, mainly CO2, will come up through here. And then we're going to put this little guy over the top of it. So the gas will be forced back down and bubble out from the bottom. So it's really kind of just a one-way valve. And then there's holes in the lid. I don't know if you can see the holes there. We snap that on. So it's just a one-way valve. Gases can come out, but nothing can get in. I use sanitizer. Other guys will use vodka or something just in case the pressure should change and it sucks this stuff back into the beer. Sanitizer's fine, but I could certainly see using vodka. I prefer to drink it. Put our stopper in. It's sanitized, except for my dirty thumbprint. Not going to hurt anything. And here we go. Now, if I've got, we got a lot of head space here, but if I got the beer up to here, and I'm pretty sure it's going to go all the way up, I use a blow-off hose, and I'll show you one of those off right here. So this is a blow-off hose that would fit over the top. This is probably kind of a ratty one. I probably should replace the hose part of it. Anyway, so gas just comes out, and then the end goes like into a milk bottle or a milk jug or something with fluid, with like sanitizer or something in it. So again, you can bubble stuff out, but nothing's going to go back in. This just allows for more stuff to come out of your fermenter if it should start kind of coming through. They give you an extra opening here in case you're going to shove a racking cane or something in there and push something in or suck something out, push gas through it, whatever. There's a couple different uses for that. So now we're in the first phase of fermentation. This is the aerobic phase, or lag phase. Doesn't look like much is going on in there, and probably isn't, but it's eating up the yeast are eating up the oxygen. They're getting themselves ready to go ahead and ferment this beer. There's really 4 phases. This is the first one. I'll come back during the second phase and show you what that looks like. Alright, day 1. And it is going. Look at that. Going crazy in there. I can smell the hops. It's about where are we at temperature-wise? We're 77. It's warm in there. That's all right. I'm not looking for low ester or anything like that. If I was doing a lager or a cleaner beer, taste-wise, I would be chilling it off right now. But we're just gonna let this thing go nuts. Look at that thing. Look at the bubbles up there. So I'm happy. Okay, day 2 of primary fermentation. See, it's still bubbling pretty good. So it's probably not going to finish today. You see the colors change quite a bit, and it will keep changing as things settle out. So far so good. Okay, so we're day 3 of fermentation. Looks like the active anaerobic part of the fermentation is complete. I'm not seeing any or little bubbling activity. So now we're going into what we call flocculation. That's where yeast and everything kind of slowly settle to the bottom, and it starts to clarify. So that's the third phase, is flocculation. And then after that is conditioning, and it's hard to tell by just looking at it whether it's in phase 3 or 4. But conditioning is when the yeast are kind of going dormant. They're kind of rebuilding their cell walls and things, and they tend to pull out a lot of the fermentation off flavors and so forth that happen during fermentation. So I pretty much, as a rule for ales, just let them sit in there for 2 weeks. It's a flat bottom fermenter, so the yeast cake's pretty thin, and I don't have to worry about putting a lot of stress on the yeast that way. So give it 14 days, and depending on what you're after as far as clarity, you can let it sit longer. You can add gelatin or something to clarify. You could filter it, whatever. But this one I'm not too worried about clarity. It's going to sit in the bottle for a long time, for several months before we drink it. So it'll be fine. I just see a little bubble there, but it's pretty much done. So anyway, we're going into flocculation. You can see the color's even darkened a little bit since it was in active fermentation. It's going to continue to darken because yeast are all settling to the bottom. So it smells great. I can smell kind of some of the hops coming through the airlock there. Gotta like that. So, all right, we'll be back in another few days. Talk a little bit more about it, and then we probably won't do any more recording till bottling day. So, cheers. Alright, it's been a week since brew day, and it's pretty much done. There's nothing going on. It's settled. For the most part, it's all settled out, and I'm sure it's cleaned up all the fermentation byproducts. But I just like to give it an extra week, just to let it settle and really let it clarify. And besides, I'm lazy and I hate bottling, so we're just going to wait till next week then. So basically, that's it. Bottling, we'll do another video on that, and then maybe another time we'll do one on kegging. That's not enough beer really to keg, and all my kegs are full right now. So we're going to bottle it, and then we're going to just age it for a couple months, and it should be hopefully as good as the first one.